Hi, I'm Jordan No More, and today we're talking about shadowing with Procreate on the iPad. So I did this drawing months ago of my friend Clayton and his cat, which my cat looks kind of like a dog, but I really like this drawing. So I figured this would be a good example to use for shadowing. In my cartoon drawings like this, it's easy. So if I take away these layers, you can see that the drawing is still there, but it looks very flat. So to add a little more dimension to the drawing, we are going to add some shadows and some highlights, actually. That's how I did this one. So let's go ahead and add a new layer. We're going to go to our pen tool, and we're going to find a calligraphy brush that I like to use for shadows. Originally it was the brush pen, but I made a duplicate and I actually labeled it the shadow pen. Everything's off except for streamline. I want it to be this shape and this shape only, not anything changing. I want it to be very restricted, but at the same time free-flowing, so we can make some really smooth, cool lines. We got our new layer here. Let's go ahead and we're going to make the layer out the gate. We're going to make it 50% opacity. Now we're going to go in and start to define our shadows. This is something that kind of comes with practice, kind of like when you look at pictures, especially if you are a photographer and work in photography or videography, your primary focus is shaping light. Then you kind of get to learn by proxy how light falls on objects, and that's like a very important thing with making realistic shadows, even on a doodle such as this. So let's go ahead and start adding shadows. That's kind of what we want to go on here. Look at that. Fill that in. I'm going to go right along and disappear into the ear. See what that's doing? It's creating contrast. One thing I failed to mention earlier, which is very important to this, is knowing where your light sources are. So in this case, I had defined that I was going to have the light source come from kind of 45 degrees up and above to his left, and so it's casting shadows to his right. Yeah, to his right, to my left. So super simple. Just start defining these shadows. And you can kind of get inventive. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Some things you take liberty, like I say about art all the time, take creative liberties where you see fit, you know. Like, here's an example. His glasses, underneath them, since it's clear, see I can make lines, but I like how they look, so I'm not making the shadow lines underneath that. I'm avoiding that. I want it to be ever so faint. Here's another tip. Don't be afraid on the iPad to spin the canvas around. You can keep the iPad straight up and down. You don't have to move the iPad, but you can spin. Look at this. I can move this canvas crazily. And that makes it really easy to make adjustments to your drawing. Look at that. That looks great. Just kidding. Looks terrible. What are you doing? But let's have a little shadow right under there. Look at that. Could be better. Could be better. Perfect. Again, these don't have to be perfect, but you can be your own critic and make them perfect if it helps you become a better artist. That's all that matters, is growing and becoming better. Always be your own inspiration. Some of these lines, don't be afraid to get real rowdy. Make big lines, because some things cast bigger shadows, you know? And again, when you get real close, you can see there's a little bit of mess, but look, when you zoom out, it looks good. It's looking good, it's growing. We're expanding. The important thing is that we have fun. Kitty's paw is going to create a shadow right there. See what I did there? I knew that right here you have, you know, the paw, and this back side of the paw is going to have some shadow, but it's going to cast a shadow on the shirt as well. Just make a big old blobby shadow. Look at that. And then when you zoom out, that makes sense, right? Am I crazy? It's looking pretty good. You know, less is more in these situations. You just want a little bit. Now let's move on. We're going to make another layer. And this will be the same thing, but our highlights layer. So we do the same exact thing. Make that a smaller percentage, but we're going to make the brush white this time. Give a little sheen on that bald noggin. Look at that. little bit of sheen, a little bit of Charlie Sheen. All right, simple enough. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful on your journey towards becoming a better artist. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for future videos. I'll see you next time.